Here we are. With the body type we have to select for the wheels decisions. Hopefully it'll give me fuel injection and not front leaf springs. But I guess we'll never know until it decides. Number 5, okay, that's pretty good. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Partial aluminium, I'll take it. A large partial aluminium car. So far it's going kind of Grand Tourer. I think that means partially steel, but I'll take it. There's worse materials out there that we could use. It's liking this. It always seems to choose semi-space frame, almost without fail. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How it chooses this every single time, I'm not sure. I don't really have a right to complain about it, as it's a good technology. But what's going on exactly, I can't understand. I can't hope to understand that. This seems all a little too familiar, I'll be honest. That other car, well, it was fiberglass body, but it had a semi-space frame as a chassis. It was mid-engine, not rear engine, but kind of close. And it had push-rod front, double wishbone rear. Why does it seem to like that setting? I mean, it's supposed to be a random wheel. It's not supposed to be this kind of planned out, for lack of a better word. But I guess that's what we got for now. Technical all-wheel drive. I don't know what the exact details of that are, but it is an all-wheel drive, not a 4x4 system like we had before. Differences are starting to appear. It is rear engine, so we're going to want a new engine. Doesn't really matter what it's called. Aluminium standard. Look, it's not the performance header, but it's pretty lightweight, and it's not the weird thing it had last time where it was cast iron on the top and then like Owlsy on the bottom. I mean, it could be worse. It could be a lot worse than what we've got specified here. We've got one. This isn't gonna make power. The wheel has made an interesting decision. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have set the wheel up to make the engine that small, but if it insists, you know what? All this panicking and worrying, it's not gonna matter. Not with the engine being under 1 litres. All I can do now is hope it gives me a turbocharger. I don't know what to say. Hope I make 100 horsepower, because if it doesn't, this thing is not gonna get off the line at all. Well, I say that it is, but very, very slowly. Like, this may be the slowest thing we've built. Maybe with the turbos, I'll be able to get some power, and it won't actually be slower than the last car. I can live in hope, okay? 1 or 2 for the balancing mass. Please do 2. No, I shouldn't have said anything, sorry. I mean, it loves the number 1. Quite frankly, it's amazing I got the crank conrods and pistons so nice. Harmonic damper, though, I can probably live without. I'll be honest here. Again, of all the places it can cut corners. And we've got 3. Before it went with 6 dual barrel carburetors, and it still didn't make power. I don't know if 3 DCOEs will be any better, but I live in hope here. No, you haven't. You've given me a race intake, which is actually exactly what we want. We need to make power by pushing air through this engine, and we don't have turbos to help us. We don't even have fuel injection, but we do have triple DCOE carbs. I mean, they're some of the better carburetors, and I think it's going to sound amazing, I'll be honest. 2 baffled mufflers. They're not super high-end mufflers, so it might make some noise, but be quieter than we've got. Look at this power. If I just hide the wheel, look at that power. 56. I can actually briefly mute the music, and let's see. No, I didn't mean to press that. Let's see how it sounds. I mean, I'll be honest, it sounds good, but my hope is still waning. I do not have much hope left, just with how this is a 1 litre engine, but I have to obey the demands of the wheel. I have to do what it tells me to. The one inkling of hope this engine has, it's made of lightweight materials, and it's got a twin cam header, even if it is 2 valve per cylinder. So it shouldn't weigh a lot. It shouldn't weigh down the back of the car. Maybe it'll corner well. 6. So we've got vicious. not great. I don't think we'll be putting down enough power for it to matter, honestly. It's still got a differential. Even if it is one of the lower end ones, it should be more than enough given how much power we're putting down, or not putting down. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got forged. Nice. Not carbon fibre, but forged. The vibes I'm getting from this are I could actually make a decent retro car. We're gonna need something that's extremely long though. So I'm gonna like not just use coupe here because I'm really gonna have to dig into the options. I missed this the first time round, but this looks pretty sporty actually. No idea what this is based off of, but and maybe you're pushing the limits to say this is a high performance sports car. But it's 1946, but this has certainly got the right kind of portions to it. I'll see which lower ones there are. Like, I'll probably just go with whichever one of these is the lowest, because they're not all supercars. I get it, like, the wheel needs to choose and stuff. They're not all supercars, sports car type things. I think if I go with one of the lower ones, and even especially if I can lower the roof, yeah, like I can lower the roof there. So it's a 40s body. I think I can make this work because it screams retro to me more, or vintage to me more than anything. So even though this is a 1940s body, it is indeed massive. So I think it's suitable for the overall, like, what do you call it? Feeling I'm going with. So we've got, I think for what I'm doing, like high performance, I'll avoid anything with more than 2 doors. And we'll go with just the sporty. I'll go for sporty body types. I'll let the wheel choose which one of the sporty body types. But it's a high performance sport, so I have to give it a selection of these, like, ones with less windows that'll look a bit more like supercars. I don't like having to re-roll the body this much, but the newer bodies, they just don't fit what I'm trying to go by. 4, let's see, just barely chose 4. We are going with a coupe. It says coupe and it looks like a convertible. Yeah, it looks like a convertible. Does it say front rear engined, track width like that? Max seats, I'd go with 2 front seats. I mean, I don't think you're going to see any supercar of any era with a bench seat in the front, because that's what it is. Now, it does get another whirl here because it is actually a convertible. Somehow I didn't realise it says convertible type. Okay. I feel like I've done myself in by even giving it the opportunity to choose a soft top. So, automatic soft top. And, I mean, if anything, looking like this is probably going to excuse my engine a little for making no power. Like, I can just say, oh, it's an old car. And no one's really going to know any better than it being an old car. So we've got the brakes configured. They are terrible brakes, but they're equally terrible on the front and back, so I think I can make that work, especially if this ends up light as I am hoping. So we've got 7 options for the undertray. Sport undertray. It's not the lightest technology, but again, with no power, that means it should at the very least go quickly. I'll come back to this because it needs to decide whether I get front and rear aero, which I will do. I'll do it a bit later. As I say, I'm not going to change that, but we have got 7 options for the interior type. We've got 1. This is good. I needed weight saving. The wheel has actually chosen a 1 where you want the 1. I'm going to take that, you know. Manual recirculating ball. You know what? That's good. You might hate me for saying this, but manual recirculating ball is actually about the best you can get with non-power steering. It complains the least. If you go with manual rack and pinion, it doesn't often like it running on a slightly heavier car. So I think I can really feed into the idea, though, that this is like a car from the 1950s or whatever, or 40s even. So we have got 2. Yes, we've got ABS. You know what? The other one didn't have ABS. We don't need traction control with how light this body is. Not light, sorry. We don't need traction control with how underpowered this thing is going to be. I appear to have built the safest car from the 1940s that ever existed. I guess you gain some, you lose some. It's like, this is going to add weight, but we've been lucky enough so far with how it's worked out. So the suspension technology. We've got good suspension, actually. Pushrod front and double wishbone rear. Pushrod wouldn't have even existed in the 1940s. Double wishbone might have. And we've got passive sway bars, because of course it would be passive sway bars. I would say it'll wobble, but as I say, the body being a high-performance body and not making any power, really, I think this thing isn't going to wobble too much. Also, the suspension is good. So, we've got that. How low can I get it? Like, that's just super low. That's probably going to scrape the ground, to be quite honest, but I could try it. It's performance, I guess. Okay, so here I have returned to what we've got. It's the same thing as we had before, pretty much, but I've made it bigger. Well, it's apparently recording now. I re-rolled, like, twice to get this, because here, first time it gave me, I think, a 1 litre engine, which is the same as it had, and second time gave me something too large that wouldn't fit in the car. There's a lot of fun stuff to do. I've got a 4 litre now. It didn't originally want to come to Grid Map V2, but hey, I've worked out now, decided not to record for reasons beyond my understanding. Having a 1 litre engine, it just isn't any good. Especially if the overall build is kind of iffy. Out, but it does take those bumps. It's just not enough to make any kind of usable power. Some others. So from here on out, what could you realistically expect a sports car to go over? That's one change I'm going to make to the walls. There's something about the gearing is a little odd. Like, I don't know why, it just doesn't seem to take off. It's fine once you get it going. Everything else, as I say, it's the same. Yeah, seriously, it's generally smooth over like fairly normal situations. It can take. I think I've done decently well. It's 290 horse. So which is good. Like, this doesn't roll a huge amount either. Perhaps because the body is so low, but the whole thing works together cohesively. I like that. So even these slightly more aggressive bumps, pretty good there. And I mean, it doesn't understeer too badly. It looks a lot worse on this map. There you go. It's not a perfect engine, but now it's actually normal map. It's solid. We do have a dragger set up here though, so I'll just reset the car so if there's any damage. I think it's more rear heavy, but it's 60%, 60.1 rear. No ESC, so it's better than it was. It does go. Let's see how quick this actually is on a proper drag track. It's still making weird lift, but other than that, yeah. 4.99. I mean, I think I'm done basically the best circumstances you can ask for. It does 179 now as well. The gearing, it wouldn't do even half. I think it's closer. That's what I mean about it needing this in reality when you drive. It does actually get moving, which I'll get into. We've got I think to match the weight balance. Without this engine being as is, it would not get moving. And we've got quick as well. Slight tyre difference. I could probably build a quicker car outright, but for just a randomly built car, design, but enough to allow slightly wider rear tyres. And that's enough. You could say I cheated. I don't have any complaints with how this thing handles. That's what I had to do to make this actually a valid car. But they're large enough to drive. Otherwise, it'll just they are suffering from the bottom of the box, and no one will bother touching it. Nothing that we can't handle. I think we've got everything. Problems are shown here that needs to. So I'll probably just give it a bit of a ramp all this stuff going on. And same as it was before. Same as it ever was. Goodbye. It's a bit heavier. I think it's like 17 something. Yeah, almost 1,800 kilos. It has the power and torque, so that's not an issue. I will now take this into BeamNG and show how it runs. So, here we have the vehicle that has been finished and improved on Grid Map V2 because there is a lot of fun stuff to do. I didn't originally want to come to Grid Map V2, but hey, that part of the clip decided not to record for reasons beyond my understanding. So here we are. There we go. It clunks about, but it does take those bumps. And let's try some others. What could you realistically expect a sports car to go over? Yeah, something about the gearing is a little odd. Like, I don't know why, it just doesn't seem to take off. It's fine once you get it going. Yeah, seriously, it's generally smooth over, like, fairly normal situations. It can take a few curbs and whatever. Which is good. Like, this doesn't roll a huge amount either. Perhaps because the body is so low, but the whole thing works together cohesively. I like that. So even these slightly more aggressive bumps, pretty good there. And I mean, it doesn't understeer too badly. It looks a lot worse on this map, but the understeer really isn't that bad on a normal map. We do have a drag set up here, though, so I'll just reset the car, so if there is any damage, it won't affect what we're doing now. No ESC, so I don't have to worry about turning that off. I don't know, it does go. Let's see how quick this actually is on a proper drag track, because I did say before it did like 5.5. Yeah, 4.99 on basically the best circumstances you can ask for. It will do 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. Before, it wouldn't do even half that. So that's what I mean about it needing this engine. Like, it does actually get moving now. Without the engine, without this engine being as is, it would not get moving. It is now quick as well. Like, I could probably build a quicker car outright, but for just a randomly built car, it's surprisingly cohesive. You could say I cheated with the engine, but it's like, that's what I had to do to make this actually a valid car you would want to drive. Otherwise, it'll just be left at the bottom of the box and no one will bother touching it. Still, I think we've got everything shown here that needs to, so I'll probably just give it a bit of a ramp up here, and then I'll leave it and say goodbye until another day.